Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, amazing, spectacular propaganda cast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland, your lord and master, your king of kings. Off here to a spectacular 1v1 on Bayer. In the east, it is Findeed. Fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin. Here with the 6th Mechanized Corps with Guard Motors, Shock Rifle, and NKVD Rifle Disruption Tactics with double infantry and tank grenade range. Best in the west is Cossack fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with Jaeger Infantry. Forming up their first Panzer Division with ambush training, Jaeger Light Infantry upgrades, Jaeger Command Squads, Light Artillery barrages, and the Stuka Close Air Support with Panzerfaust and double infantry. We got a Grenadier MD42 start here, standard stuff versus the also very standard double conscript build there. We do get a second unit squad here for indeed not immediate more infantry, but more attempt to seize territory in the early game. Will Cossack be able to realize and exploit this? Or he's just going to, do whatever he wants to do, which he knows, I guess, is fine. And there's sandbags in the south here. And of course, as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters, these champions, these heroes of the Propaganda Cast who keep me in the business. You too can join the heroic and spectacular ranks by pledging on Patreon yourself. You can do and follow the heroic example of me and donate via PayPal. Links also in the video description for that. And as always, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. North points being seized here under the auspices here of the MD42 and the Grenadiers. Main focus there seems to be on actually hitting Findeed on the fuel point, expecting Findeed to not actually divert a lot of resources or effort to the southern fuel point, which is a bit of a bold assumption there by Cossack, a bit of a bold assumption, but at the same time, there's also the argument if he actually makes a good push to the northern fuel point, it's going to divert forces away from the southern fuel point. So there's a lot of possibility, a lot of mind games between Cossack and Findeed here, just within like the first 2 minutes of the game, really just highlighting how much can go on there in a game of Companies 2 once you really get up to the higher bits there. Grenadiers being forwards here for Cossack, and units going for the centre victory point. Third conscript there for Findeed. Most finest of deeds. Grenadiers punishment against the Grenadiers in the centre, trying to seize that centre victory point. Grenadiers advancing under cover of the MD42 team. And we got the conscript squad number 3 ready here for Findeed. We should of course see what he goes for next. Will it be attack? Will it be a 4th conscript squad? Will it be a surprise 3rd engineer squad, though? That would definitely be a bit of a surprise. Cossack, they're going for a 3rd Grenadier squad. You may even see 4 here, since obviously, you kind of have some synergies with all this. That said, most of our players never bother with those synergies, so... I mean, obviously, we better off than going for German infantry, which he did technically have amongst his doctrines there. And he's flanking in the conscript then before to ensuring the conscripts actually don't back out. The heavy cover there, so it's pretty nice up there by Cossack in the centre. They're overwhelmed here. As Findeed forms up a counterattack force to swing through there in the south. We got units for the southern fuel pump, but there's a Grenadier squad moving in that will actually intercept this attempt here by Findeed and stomp it down with a good jackboot to the kneecaps. Going for the conscript up north here. Slow fight here. Conscripts seem to be slightly edging ahead here, actually, interesting enough. Despite, technically not getting the cover bonus, at least they shouldn't. And the Grenadiers actually having a light cover bonus, so there we go. He already drops dead. The centre machine, though, being overwhelmed, trying to deal with this attempt to break through there by Findeed in the centre, though. It sadly isn't quite panning out there for Cossack, and well, the machine will have to retreat now, or it's going to get cleared out. Flamethrower as well here for Findeed. We get field grenade and field infirmary here, so definitely just trouble comes there for Findeed and the Red Army. Up north, Grenadiers forced to retreat. Flamethrower using retreat, plus conscripts moving in there. I would say chance of getting a wipe here on Cossack's Grenadiers is definitely there, but there's also a chance here that Cossack gets lucky, but not this time. Not this time. Great kill there from Findeed, getting rid of a Grenadier squad in the early game is a huge blow to the Wehrmacht. To any faction, of course, losing an early infantry squad is pretty bad, except, well, kind of the Americans, because they do get 3 units with attack, but still, this will hurt Cossack in particular. Pan Grenadiers, of course, be a good thing to just throw at his opponent now instead. Again, Pan Grenadiers are just good versus conscripts. We got Guard mode here for Findeed, featuring the T-3035 medium tank, heavy mortars, Guards Rifle infantry, vehicle crew repair training, and of course, marked vehicle. Mine goes off there with a rifle grenade. Nice work there, and we do get light machine guns there for Cossack's Grenadier. Support cabinet there for Findeed, very good. Could see a maximum, could see a field gun. I'd like to make a nice company up there. Yeah, command squad ready, and there we go, replacing the infantry loss was that, which is pretty good. And using southwards. And of course, one thing worth noting about Grenadiers and the LMD-32, not every Grenadier squad had access to it. I mean, many actually had to make do with the LMD-34. And that was more typically the, you know, third or fourth rate divisions, so say the elite Panzer divisions, Panzer companies typically would be ones equipped with an MG42 if possible. In some cases, they have to make do with light machine guns from, like, you know, other armies, like, you know, Czechoslovakian light machine guns, or, you know, Russian light machine guns possibly, if they couldn't get, you know, the German ones. So, little fun fact there. In some cases, they didn't have light machine guns. Cards could pin down there. So a little fun fact there, but typically, like, you know, the more elite units would have access to the MG42, and you know, actually became less and less elite, it became more MG34s, or none at all. Mines up here, plenty there for Findeed. Contact right there with the Jaeger Command Squad. Armored car halfway down there for Kausak. The 222 pioneers using the point here should wire this off. Maybe consider some sandbags along that axis. As for Findeed space, we got the Max machine on the way there. More light machines there for Kausak's Grenadier. Yeah, Command Squad holding up here. There we go. Armored car ready for Kausak for Germany. Deutschland. Engineers taking Norfolk here, flank up behind the MG42. Very good maneuver here by Findeed. Blind sights here, Kausak. Whereby could consider some ambush camouflage on the heavy machine gun team. It's actually really good for a variety of reasons. Besides just the ambush bonus, you get a machine which is quite good. It also just makes it hard for your opponents, like, you know, doing annoying things to a machine gun, as they can't easily just, like, you know, find the right angle to attack it from necessarily. You can just surprise them. Ooh, 2 thumbs up to Kawasaki using the instant armor piercing rounds. It's such a good ability, but so many Wehrmacht players and Orbital Command West players rarely ever utilize it, but it's so good. I really can strongly recommend just using it, you know, a good deal of the time. Obviously not just every time you see an engagement, but in a lot of engagements, particularly the larger ones, it can really do a number of your opponent's troops. So I can strongly recommend it a lot of the time. More Grenadiers for Kausak. Would have liked to see a Panzer Grenadier squad there personally, but, you know, that's me. Console holding up here. Pioneers when they hit their march was up for Kausak. Thumbs up. Not underestimating his opponent's ability to lay down mines. It's great there by Kausak. Some players, of course, tend to be a bit more sloppy with that, but versus the Soviets, you almost inevitably will want a minesweeper there. Unless your opponent's going for airborne troops, in which case they will be spending a lot of their munitions on the S-5040. In which case you can skip the minesweepers, at least for a while, but eventually we'll have to get one anyways. Machine holding up here. Got the mine, very good. Comes to this, they're going to deal it. Engaging there. In the south, got the Jaeger Command Squad in ambush, very good. They get a 5-second, I think, actually going to think somewhere around 20% or something. Oh, it just makes, you know, the shots hit a lot better, increase the lethality overall. That said, it's particularly high, you know, fire rate weapons like the light machine gun. The machine seems to really benefit from it, but even like G-33 Jaeger Grenadiers or Jaeger Command Squad actually could get some nice value out of the ambush bonus. It's really just a solid upgrade, to be honest, and I really feel like more Wehrmacht players, if they go for Doctrine Ambush Camouflage, would actually benefit from utilizing it. Maximum holding out here for Findeed and the Red Army. Bit of scattered fighting all across the map here. Neither side is really like looking to, you know, win a decisive engagement against the other, like, you know, make a big push. So just looking for like weaknesses, maybe hoping to set up for future engagements. We got the Guard Trial Squad out here for Findeed. Thumbs up. Bit short on the mission, so for the DP light machine gun. Armored car, they're a bit stuck. Findeed, of course, will want to take up soon, because right now Kausak with the armored car does have a bit of advantage in terms of like mobility and initiative, since he can just more easily just like, you know, swing an engagement in his favor. Though fortunately for Findeed, Kausak is so far not utilizing it super aggressively, so that's like this working out there for Findeed. Those Guard Squad may just be able to put a stop to this advantage Kausak has. Here, Command Squad, the doubling back here, could use the sprint to catch up fast with it. Machine gun, they're going to open up in the Guard Squad and stop it, narrowly saving the armored car there. Close call though, close call for Kausak. Up north hitting the fuel pump there. Really good fuel harassment over here by Kausak. 2 thumbs up. Fuel harassment is definitely, you know, one of the things you really want to work on as, like, you know, as a newer player and, you know, intermediate player. If you can sort of harass your opponent's fuel to a good degree without core solution your own, you can actually, like, you know, give yourself a significant advantage as the game goes on. As you can disrupt your opponent's timing, but also give your own timings a bit of an extra boost sometimes as well. So definitely something to consider there. And really, again, nice, just disruptive raid play here by Kausak. Thumbs up. He could consider taking up there. He could also consider going for like a 250 on a half track. Big fan of that one personally. Jaeger Command Squad seizing the victory point there. Very good. Back here, Guard Squad holding up there. Still short on the munitions for the DP light machine gun. mines up here, as obviously Findid is trying to limit what the Kazakh can do there around the fuel point now. Very sensible. Certainly if you have an exposed point your opponent likes to harass, mining it is a pretty good idea. So here, regular mines, of course, you have the Wehrmacht. Laying down S-mines, for example, is a great way to also like deal with this, you know, disruptive harassment of a certain particular point, like a carve point or the fuel point. So a bit of advice there. Gonna do something up here. Hey Jürgen, yeah? The guts is camouflage, yeah? But why can't we hide in, you know, the terrain with the camouflage? Well, we need training to use it. Training? I mean, you know, fairly certain they can't see us, but somehow they can. Well, you know, you gotta become one with the trees or some scheiße. I don't know. Ugh, this is so annoying. Well, you know, Canadian rules. I hate the Canadians. Well, we all do, Fritz, we all do. Pack for the front of the conscripts. Armored car joining in, hoping to crumb the cover. Troops sitting out there from the base of Kazakh. Needs holding up still on the tech. Oh, there we go. Finally get the tech there for Findid. That's it. Timing wise, he's probably better off going for the Mechanized Armor Company at this point rather than going for T-70. I think timing wise, he might be cutting a bit too closely from Kazakh, just pushing out, say, a Panther 4, Ostwind, even like a Stug at a fairly rapid pace, at which point Findid could find himself in a bit of what you'd call an uncomfortable position with the T-70. I think pushing for the Mechanized Armor Company now might be the better choice. Like, if you want to really go for the T-70, could have done this minutes ago. He's like been a lot of damage in against Kazakh by now, so I think Mechanized Armor Company is at this point going to be the superior choice for Findid. Kazakh finally taking up this role, very good. Northy engineer's been caught by the armored car. The lighter punches Spearback and striking with fury and faith in fatherland. Can we just bring up this role there? Again, pushing for the car on there. Go hit some mine. Armor car hits as well there. Great work there with Findid mining game. This really does a number there in Kazakh's raiders. That said, he's bringing more troops to assist with his raid, turning it less from a raid into a full-on heist. Gassman arriving as well here. Network ways for how he's moving about there. He's realizing he's not going to be able to push out the opponent from fuel point right away. In fact, he's going to bait him out. Really good play there by threatening the armored car instead. Realizing, of course, it's actually an opportunity. Great play here by Findid. Great, you know, read on the situation. Definitely punishing Kazakh there for underestimating Findid as well. Beautiful, beautiful play there, Findid. Beautiful. That said, he definitely needs to get the Mechanized Armor Company up soon before to select. But there, almost got the armor car. Gunneer being pushed back as well there. Heavy damage here to Kazakh. Kazakh firmly trying to hide. He's getting up behind an area most players will never ever go in the entire, you know, history of the game when they're playing this map. It's just this path. It exists, but it's just like, you know, it's effectively like, you know, might as well be Terra Incognita. Or Terra Australis. Anyways, troops are enforcing you to get, you know, some tech further up there, Indeed. Almost got the armored car, but it's somehow holding things up for now. Also, there's a demo charge there which can't be targeted. Right next to this Panther 2. I wonder if they were going to like end up adding that with an update to some sort of doctrine. That'd be interesting. There you go. Finally got the armored car. South here we got Consular Grenadiers, the 8 Command Squad, and the MD-42. Finally harassing their Kazakhs field. Good counterplay there with Indeed. That said, one slight issue, of course, the Consul get absolutely executed, which isn't quite worth it there. Still, he's actually managed to do some damage to Kazakh. Actually managed to push back the front line mostly, so not too shabby, but needs to get some armor set up soon here. But the Mechanized Armor Company, the faster the better here for Indeed. The faster the better. Max willing to deal with the grenades up by Northern Victory Point. Comes being shot to bits here. Molotov off there, need to retreat though. Probably should retreat those engineers, but he's starting to grab some more territory there. Risky but aggressive. Meanwhile though, Kazakh's got this Palmer Cop, can push for a Panther 4 right away here versus Indeed. That's going to get dangerous and will require him now to really get the Mechanized Armor Company up and then go for the T-35, which does fairly well counter that. Going for a counter squad here. Honestly, I think a guard squad here would be better, like just, you know, anti-tank rifles plus with the DP light machines that just perform better than the conscripts. And, you know, just more elite infantry I think would do a lot better versus Kazakh Learntel as well. So, that would be my personal opinion here. Plus, you can just get them out immediately. Anyways, looks like we're finally getting a tech here for Indeed. Very good. Panther 4, those halfway down there for Kazakh and the 1st Panzer Division. Grenadiers routed there. Actually, I think he lost another Grenadier squad. Hang on, let me just check. Yeah, I think he did there. Oh, he hasn't finished it. You haven't finished it, indeed. C'est Boyard! Yuri! We only laid down the foundation, and it's a terrible one too. It's basically wood and mud. We've never passed building inspections. And there's comes the captain of the Jaeger command squad there. Sneaky harassment there by Cossack rocking up in the guard squad. Nice hit there. Also worth noting, Indeed has been merging constantly with the guard squad, keeping their reinforcement cost down, but also increasing reinforcement speed technically. Also looks like the guardsmen or engineers back to fixing up the mechanized armor company. Very good. Up north, hitting routed by the Panther 4, now striking here for the glory of the Soviet Union. He can go for the T-35 now and does do so, but until then he is at the mercy of Cossack and the 1st Panzer Division's 2nd Panzer Battalion. As a fun fact, typically Panthers were organized into the 1st Panzer Battalion in the Panzer Division's Panzer Regiment, and the Panther 4s would be in the 2nd Panzer Battalion. There technically was, you know, at the start of the war, a 3rd Panzer Regiment, and of course also for Panthers and Panzer Force, in which case the organization was a bit different. But yep, they lost the 3rd Panzer Regiment after Stalingrad and North Africa, though they did until sort of, I think, mid-1944 effectively substitute the 3rd Panzer Regiment by attaching a Stug battalion to the Panzer Division, which would then sort of act like the 3rd Panzer Regiment. But it was sort of like, you know, an unofficial, official thing. So a little fun fact there as well. Sniper on the way for Cossack. Interesting choice at this point in the game. Probably prefer Panzer Grenadier personally, but again, you know, I always suggest those as Stormtroopers. Anyways, T-35 here ready for Indeed. Engineers taking a loss here from the Panther 4. T-35 moving in, shoots and gets the Panther bombs down to half health. Very good there for Indeed. Sniper ready there for Cossack. There we go, almost got the Panther 4 there with the T-35. Of course, as the war went on, you know, they struggled more than likely supplying the Panzer what they needed. That, you know, you'd see cases, for example, with the 2nd Panzer Battalion being a mix of Stugs and Panzer 4s, for example. Even the 1st Panzer Battalion would not necessarily always have full Panthers. So, again, no little side note there. Panzer Captain come out with the Southern Fuel Pump rushing in for the heavy cover. Aggressive there, can also, of course, now begin upgrading with mobilized reserves. Would be a good idea there, obviously. Molotov off there. Lots of back and forth action here. Big 2 points wise. It's also really close between the two, with neither side really gaining a significant lead over the other one. Cossack there going for another Panther 4. Obviously versus T-35s, getting out some Stug 3Gs is also a strong consideration. But I mean, having 2 Panther 4s is obviously also quite good. Make no mistake. Constantly enforcing healing here for Indeed. Need to fix up this T-35 swiftly. Grab the southern point here. Sniper sneaking ahead here. I think he's partly also just using it like, you know, slightly as a scout there. Even have a scout less line of sight than he used to. You can still sort of sneak ahead then. Still need to do some scouting. Panther's almost fixed up. 2nd one almost ready as well. T-35 there being swiftly sorted out. Field gun for Indeed as well. Very good, obviously. Get there as always. T-35 there's heading out. Guard from ground the center. Action from northern point. Got this is 3 divisional field gun ready here for Indeed. Guard taking a hit from the Panther through the hedges, but the T-35 returns the favour with ease. And got the guard firing a few shots there through. Another hit there on the Panther 4. Down to less than half health now. Excellent there for Indeed. Other Panther 4 arriving. Cossack seems to be holding up. He's trying to set up a position to attack the northern position here without exposing himself too much. Actually getting flanked there, but they're going to do this up north. Very good. Then the south affecting the southern viewpoint there. Field and arriving. I feel like we could actually, I think, take out the Panther 4 here with the T-35 at least forced away there. Up north, lost from the northern viewpoint there as Cossack makes a good push there. You see there's the conscripts, easily suppressed. Troops being launched to counterattack here to defend northern field point from Cossack's fascist incursion. Back here, troops reinforcing healing. Going for the southern field point there. Cossack definitely extending it too much into northern fields here, which allows for Indeed to just easily and uncontested grab the southern field point there. It's not like he's easily getting the fuel point either in response, so a bit risky here. Plus, theoretically, I think if Indeed realised what's going on, he could actually launch an attack here and actually do some damage here to Kawsak, as he could hit some exposed units here, even on retreat. So I think there's a few risks here associated with the Kawsak's current setup. Obviously, it also has its strengths, but I do think it is worth pointing out the risks more. Season Sun fuel point here. Nothing for going in. Kawsak's base versus Indeed. Field gun T-35 ready. Ooh, sniper called out in the open, not hit by the T-35. He's treated just in time there. Close call here for Kawsak. Close call. Would have been great kill if Indeed could take him out. Closing another T-35 soon. You could of course also consider Katyusha here or a Mortar if you just want something a bit cheaper. Mortar in fact could also be used to smoke out this position and prevent it from actually supporting the rest of Kawsak's forces, which could then, you know, support a great rapid assault. Down into Panther 4. T-35 being fixed up again. And the South Indies being attacked as Kawsak of course realizes he has to launch something into the south here against Indeed. He can't afford to like just have Indeed hold the entire south, like, you know, with no real investment in terms of troops or, you know, equipment. So good move there by Kawsak. Good move. Does leave him slightly exposed up north, but Indeed so far is more the defensive posture. So it's not like Indeed can immediately punish him here, I think, too aggressively unless Kawsak screws up. So now, of course, the big question for Indeed is, does he deal with the southern push here, or does he try to regain the north fully here from Kawsak? But he can soon go for that T-35, but he's reinforcing troops instead. Which you can't fault him for, but there's also the argument just getting up more T-35s is better here for Indeed. And folding the T-35, good hit there. But the T-35 with ease returns to the field. In fact, it's close to 2 gains a rate of fire boost, which is obviously really powerful. As it also gains 1 invested in 3, meaning an ace T-35 actually has an incredibly high rate of fire. Comes with the Jaeger Command Squad. Nothing nears Pioneers right with the Guardsmen. Counter maximum in the centre. Classic Grenadiers. Tier 4 being prepared by Kawsak. I mean, with 2 Panther Force in the field, yeah, I'd say that's acceptable. I mean, I'm still not a fan. I still think you should just go for like Stugs or Ostvins, to be honest, instead. But, you know, if you're gonna go for Tier 4, at least have 2 Panther Force here like Kawsak has on the field currently. I mean, that is the right time to do it, because that way the Panther Force can, you know, exert pressure, don't allow your punch to recover too much, and also ensure infantry doesn't get just mauled as well. So, overall, this is, shall we say, the textbook case of how to do it. Get out 2 pieces of medium armor before trying to stall for Tier 4. Panther 4 there, of course, with Schützen, looking good. Confidant wiped out in the centre. Indeed does seem to be slightly floundering a bit here, perhaps in top 9 entirely how to deal with this. And again, a Mortar I think will go a long way to sort out this for Indeed, so you can just smoke out certain critical points. Allow him to be more aggressive here versus Kawsak. Also just negate the sniper a bit there. Field bombarding. Wow! This sniper got sniped with his 3 visual field guns, high explosive shell. That's some real luck there for Kawsak. Oh, Indeed, that is some real luck. Good God. Panther Force pushing ahead here. Kawsak, those clearly upset about this, launches a counterattack, blitzkrieging forwards, but hits a mine there. Failed to get Pioneers to support the attack here. Definite mistake there by Kawsak. Now, if Indeed is launching a counterattack here, T-35 take down from the Luftwaffe. T-35 pushing it, going for the Panther 4. Panther 4 almost down. Pack 40 also in trouble here. Brutal engagement between Kawsak and Indeed. Kawsak manages to make the stall for the Tier 4 suddenly a lot worse. And there you go, got the T-35. They came at the cost of 22 Panther 4. At the same time, the other Panther 4 could still go down here. We got machine guns firing around the Grenadiers auspices. More troops pushing ahead. They can't get machine guns, field gun. Going for the Pack 40 instead, perhaps here. Can't get the Panther 4 clearly, so grabbing the Pack 40 instead is actually a pretty good idea here by Indeed. Sometimes being able to like make a decision rapidly, like realize what is the more realistic goal, and then actually execute the most realistic goal is a really good idea. There's a great move there by Indeed. Good decision making under pressure. Losses there being inflicted. I think he lost a conscript there as well. Artillery fire called in. Grenadiers routed. That was some real intense stuff there. And he did survive with the Panther. He's going for the Sturmpanzer Fear. No, cancels it. Cancels it. Indeed, could go for the T-35 soon. Definitely needs some tanks out. I'm guessing Kawsak might actually then be planning a Panther here. Probably thinking it's without the Pak 40, he's going to need something to do with those T-35s. And the Panther 4 on its own, it's not going to be able to cut it. So a Panther does make a bunch more sense here than the Sturmpanzer Fear. Ooh, that's going to be a bit expensive pack to reinforce with the Guardsman in it. On it. Oh, he cancels it. Goes for the Sturmpanzer after all. T-35 on the way there for indeed. Guess we'll have to see how that Sturmpanzer works out. But again, with the T-35 and 2 anti-tank guns backing up with 2 6-man anti-tank guns, chances are things may not go entirely smoothly here for Kawsak. But we shall see. We shall see. Machine flying away. They're halfway to the Veteran D3 and the A-slopes. Sturmpanzer there. Closing in there and being done. Kawsak with another Pak 40 as well. You got 319 with 377. Need to reinforce here. Obviously, one option might be just merge conscripts with 2 with the Pak 40 there. And there you go. T-35 ready. Not far away from the second one actually. And there you go. Sturmpanzer ready here for Kawsak. Sturmpanzer, by the way, was a more specialist vehicle for like specific scenarios, usually like urban warfare, to like blast opponents out of like, you know, fortified positions in dense urban environments. Wasn't quite, you know, so it's available. It's made to look like, you know, something like Panthers or Panzerwerfers. Quite the opposite again. It was very much a specialist vehicle for like specialist jobs. It's very much a core army group level asset. Not a, say, divisional level asset like, you know, a Panther or a Panzerwerfer. Which is always the one thing that bugs me about the Sturmpanzer. It should be more like a doctrinal unit. For some reason they made it a non-doctrinal unit. I don't like that personally, but again, that's just me, you know, being the organisational stickler and all that. But anyways, both anti-tankers ready there. Still Kawsak here pushing back for indeed. Kawsak is relentless, ruthless, determined, Danish. Anyways, T-35 being pushed back a bit here, troops reinforcing healing. Getting the anti-tankers ready here. Yeah, definitely been an expensive Pak 40 to accrue there with old Guardsmen on. Obviously can also defend itself better due to it being old Guardsmen, but you know. Ooh, bounce there. Bit lucky for Kawsak. Pak 40 number 2 there for Kawsak, so clearly not concerned about the enemy armour. Indeed, I think he's like exert more pressure in the south. I think you should try at least for now avoid like a direct confrontation here with Kawsak in the north. And looks like overwhelm him elsewhere and just not outmaneuver him. Second Pak 40 almost done. Pioneers rushing forwards here, both from Minesweepers. Paxis gun ready. T-35 with 2 kills. Mine spotted. Good mine growth indeed. A thumbs up to that. Set, bit of trouble here. Sturmpanzer shoots. Mine set off. Engineers taking losses. Forward route here from indeed in the north. Map is slowly being throttled out of any socialism that might exist there by Kawsak. Guardsman doing what they can at east level. 14 kills, 15 kills. Panther 4 there, close vector 2 and the Schutzen. Shot fired. Didn't do too much there. Entertaining southwards instead. Could use the self-repair, but he actually hasn't used that one at all, which is slightly interesting. But there you go. Schutzen equipped on the Panther 4. For those rendering Schutzen, we actually just primarily intended to slightly increase the sidearm of the tank against, well, technically other arms, well, primarily just to mean you deal with anti-tank rifles, but there's clearly also an expectation it could slightly help, you know, with tank shots as well on the sides. Not a lot, but, you know, it could provide slight benefits there. Overall effectiveness for stuff like bazookas and such apparently was less great. In fact, they switched to wire mesh sidearm as the, you know, war went on there. Plus, it was also, I imagine, a bit lighter and less resource intensive, so it had some advantages as well.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Panther up in the consoles here. Going to treat those very soon. Another kill there. Indeed, situation is definitely looking a lot less great in the end, despite that, you know, seemingly disastrous push here by Kawasaki. In the end, he came out better from it simply because he managed to maintain initiative, whereas Indeed struggled to like actually gain initiative from that. That's pretty good there for Kawasaki, pretty good. Again, shows the importance of being aggressive as the Wehrmacht. Now, he just trying to constantly like slap it out with Indeed, he ultimately likely just got slapped out. Whereas the Soviets, as the Wehrmacht, you really need to like deliver those gut punches, not trying to just wear them down with a multitude of slaps. That's how the Soviets win, they just slap you down. Ruthlessly and very determinedly, but they slap you down. As the Wehrmacht, you have to just punch them out. Knock their lights out and leave them heaving on the ground. Panther northwards here. So right now I'd say Indeed's chances aren't impossible to turn this around, but odds are not looking great either. Like, he's playing much more passive and defensive as Kawasaki, and Kawasaki just keeps up the pressure. He's constantly being aggressive. Constantly looking to deliver significant damage if Indeed, you know, get wipes here, which again is what you want to do. T-35 then, number 2 almost done. That's going to be a problem there for Kawasaki by a bit. Guards got up north here, taking heavy losses here though. Nice hit from the Pak 40 there on the side of the Panther 4. Almost got with the T-35 hit there, but didn't quite land it. Second T-35 ready. We also got a second Stuart close air support run here ready for Kawasaki. Ground the Southern Point Engineers.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Uses the Grenadiers.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Uses the Engineers. And we do get a Panther now for Kawasaki, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. I mean, that could prove to be, in this case, actually the final nail in the coffin for Indeed. As with everything else already deal with, the Panther is going to be a bit too tough here, I think, for Indeed to deal with. Like, Indeed needs to, like, somehow try and grab initiative away here from Kawasaki, but Kawasaki is sort of playing this, I think, fairly well enough to ensure that Indeed just can't do that. He's aggressive, but at the same time he doesn't overcommit, making ready like to Indeed to like catch Kawasaki and just punish him. It's like Indeed needs to like come up with some method of his own to like catch Kawasaki off guard and turn the game back in his favor, which can be fairly tricky to do at times. In particular, we have kind of up against the Wehrmacht player actually knows what they're doing, because that's kind of where the Wehrmacht, if they know what they're doing, can actually make this very difficult, because if the Wehrmacht player knows what they're doing, they're leveraging the Wehrmacht's advantage, which is actually know a lot of firepower on sort of, shall I say, fairly mobile platforms. Anyways, Panther ready here for Kawasaki, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Second most produced tank actually in the German army after the Panzer IV. Most produced armored fighting vehicle was the Stug actually, but most produced was, or second most produced actually the Panther in terms of tanks. I think roughly 5,000 of them were made. Another fun fact is, it actually wasn't that much more expensive to make than the Panzer IV. It cost like a fraction more than the Panzer IV as well. And there's Pak 40 shot in the rear of the Panther there, not great for Kawasaki. Several shots here, down to half health already. T-35 following hit, the Panther falling back. It's not like it's doing a lot, but you know, it's just one more problem for Indeed to deal with at this point in the game. At which point the Panther may just be sufficient, though arguably a bunch of Panther IVs or Stugs could also do the trick. Shot bounce there.
The enemy has 300 points remaining.
Grenadiers holding up the centre up north there. Indeed's making some progress.
Enemy forces capturing
Sturmpanzer getting about 21, 5 kills. 32 on the Panther 4, and the Panther with no kills. And of course, he needed a lot of repairs. T-4 heading northwards here for Indeed.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory. T-34, LMG team ready. Ready for orders.
Man being moved northwards. Panther there almost good to go as well for Kawasaki. Gonna use with the advancing conscripts. Panther shoots the guardsman. the Sturmpanzer southwards, and we got air support here from Kazakh, and we got Mark Vehicle here from Indeed. Panther was almost knocked out here, but Tifa was also about to go down here, though, due to the presence of the Luftwaffe, if it can hit. Which it can't. Time to solve with the Sturmpanzer Vehicle and Pack 40 about to engage it, though. But I try and use target weak point team, might help out. That substitution for Indeed is fairly spicy. Ooh, we got the bunker busting bombardment there. A barrage. Great hit there. Pack crew exterminated with a pair of shots there. Meanwhile, got the Panther and Packs engaging here. The T-55 Norfolk on his supporting as well here. T-55 knocked out, kaput. Not that the Panther really did anything, but I'm sure the crew's claiming credit. Yeah, we did, sir. But they didn't fire her shot, Herr Hauptmann. Well, you know, they exploded out of sheer terror. I don't think that's how tank combat works. Shut up. I have you demoted and sent to Stalingrad. But we already lost there. Exactly. Ach, nein. Anyways, fixing up the T-55 there, go for Indeed surrenders. A loss here for the Red Army, a victory for the German Army. A close fight at times, but then just that one push there by Kazakh really just swung the game in favour of him. And Indeed was just able to recover there. He just struggled to regain initiative. He struggled to come up with a good push in return to switch game around there. And that, was, I think, the thing that made the difference. That said, Indeed's timings at times were a bit awkward. And I do think he should have gone for the second guard squad after instead of that con squad at a certain point. But that's just me. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I've learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, don't tell me. This is Imperial Links in Tears. Thank you for watching. Until tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.